welcome back to another episode. I was going to say season, but we're still on episodes. We haven't hit the holiday break yet of the ongoing history of beer. I'm your host, Tiffany, and I've got some wonderful guests from St. Thomas today. Yay! We're breaking out a little bit further. We're going further and bringing people in, convincing them to come and join me in my fake basement. So I have Fran and Rick joining me from Capsoft Brewing. Thank you.
Oh,
thanks for having you.
Us. It's awesome to be here.
Yeah. We met maybe in the summertime. Was that our first meeting?
It was.
Yeah. All right. So tell me a bit about Capsoft. I guess I've already stated that you're in St. Thomas, Ontario.
Yes.
But let us know a little bit how long you've been there, and let's just start with that. Where are you? Where are you in St. Thomas?
We are at the backside of City Hall, across from the library on Curtis Street.
All right.
And yeah, we've been here just since the middle of April. So
yeah, it is still this year.
Yeah.
So 2019.
Yes.
Established.
Crazy. Yep.
And why? Why did you open a brewery?
Why? We ask ourselves that every day. No.
Why have you done this to yourselves?
A lot of people ask me, how did you get into making beer? And I'm like, well, I have 4 kids, 3 of which are daughters, so this is why I make beer. No, it's just
good. It's good. You're going to groom them. They will all be the best
brewers.
Yeah, the best
so.
brewers as they grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the real story is I was doing some fermented things, healthy things like kombucha and sauerkraut and all of the crazy things. And then made
wine.
Yes, my background's Italian, so my daddy makes wine. Yes.
Excellent.
So he was kind of, an onlooker of this crazy concoction things that I was doing, and he's like, well, if you can make that, I can probably make beer. So off he went and got a kit.
Cooper's Kits. That was the way I started. Yeah.
Nice.
And
I think I had a Mr. Beer one way back in the day that I had bought in Burnaby, but that's funny, Cooper's Kit.
I guess you were doing that before, the You Brew beer stuff.
Yep. Oh, yeah. We go to the was it a Mr. Beer? I think it was a Mr. Beer.
I think so, yeah.
That you go into. So, I started with kits, and then I started experimenting with different hops and playing with the kits, trying to change the profile of the beer. And then, of course, I got into all grain brewing, and the rest is history.
Right. Yeah. Did you work anywhere before? This was legitimately started home brewing, and then you
home brewing and right into
had the passion to do that.
But everybody kept saying, now it's one thing hearing this from your friends around your kitchen table drinking free beer.
Yes.
That, Rick, this is really good. Like, you got to do something with this. So it was a bit of a plunge to decide to take the leap and see what happens. But yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I like how it started kind of with the wacky fermentation stuff too.
Yeah,
that interests me. I need to get into that, I think.
Yeah,
I'm also someone who really likes to start things like that, and then it kind of just sits there, and then the husband's like, "Can you clean this up?" Hence why I don't homebrew.
Yes.
There's a whole cleaning side of things that I'm not.
Oh, cleaning is
but I like to reap the award, so I need more friends. More friends that are doing the things I can come over.
And we actually serve Booch organic kombucha from London in our tap room.
Nice.
On tap. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff. You know what? The first time I had kombucha was when I was doing a tour in London, so not that long ago.
Yeah.
And I'd never had kombucha, and I really do enjoy it. And I think it is a nice alternative when you are driving that night or you don't want to have beer. And then whenever I'm sick, I tend to down bottles of it too. I think I was like, is it okay that I drink a whole bottle? Because the girl's like, you have a couple sips and the bottle lasts a few weeks. And I'm like,
what? Yeah. No, I drink
beer, right? You open a growler and it does not last weeks when people ask that.
Yeah.
That's funny. So with your location, did it take you guys a while to find one in St. Thomas, or you're kind of the only... There's 2 of you, 2 breweries. So still maybe some space to find it, or was it hard to find the ideal place that had the height and the system and whatever?
It was bare bones, so it was basically a garage.
Oh, perfect.
Which is kind of funny because that's where he brewed at home. Eventually I kicked him out of the house and he was in the garage. But yeah, it was one of those things where we were kind of like, I don't know if this is something that we could really sustain. And then his previous job took us out west. We were homeschooling at the time. So we went out with our trailer and our 4 kids and homeschooled on the side of a mountain in BC.
Amazing.
And visited Port Moody on a street called Murray Street, I think.
It's Brewers Row. They call it Brewers Row.
Brewers Row.
Okay.
And there's now 5, I think. There was 4 when we were there. Breweries pretty much side by side, and they're all busy and they're all bigger than us, but tiny in comparison to what we.
Is this Yellow Dog? Is this the area where
Yellow Dog is? Yes,
right?
Okay.
Yeah. Who else is there? Parkside.
Yeah.
Parkside. Yeah.
So so it kind of encouraged us, and we were like, okay, well, since St. Thomas can definitely sustain a second brewery, if not a third one, we'd be
absolutely
happy to have that happen. So
Yeah.
It was quite interesting to see over the summer when we had the patio open, the amount of people that were actually coming to St. Thomas now because
For sure.
there's more than one place to stop.
100%.
You know, if you have one location, there's not much to do, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to do a brewery tour, St. Thomas wasn't the place.
Yeah.
But it's starting to come around.
Even some people down the highway this way. Like,
Yep.
we had a couple come in from Guelph that was going, they were going to Port Stanley for
Right.
a week or whatever. And they were like, oh, we noticed there was 2 breweries here, so we stopped.
Yeah,
It was really cool.
It's so true. And
Yeah.
again, coming from, I guess, what I do a little bit,
Yes.
traveling, but it is more of a destination if you can knock
Absolutely.
off more in one area
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
than just one,
Check,
right?
check,
or have a
right?
place,
Yeah.
to even pick up stuff and kind of bring it home with you.
Another
Yeah.
real cool thing that I pulled from Port Moody or the Vancouver, the West Coast style,
Yes.
if I may, is the community that it's about.
For sure.
And beer really is a community. Brewing is a community.
It is.
At least once a day I talk to another brewer. Just to say, what are you doing here? What's this? How can we help each other? And
Yeah.
that's what I love about it.
Yeah, and it's really cool too. It's not just the seasoned people that are helping the new guys. It's vice versa, right? Like, oh, you do that, and no one's like too far into like expertise to take advice from someone else. You know?
Yeah.
Everyone's really open to trying new things.
Open discussion and asking
Yeah.
questions and
It's
listening.
fantastic. Exactly.
Woo.
Yeah.
It's a whole new thing. People
Right?
listen.
Being able to take constructive criticism, right? Like,
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
For sure.
It's important. There's something that I've noticed again from an outsider in the community that people really do work together, unlike some other industries, which is fine too. But
Absolutely.
like, I'm like, wow, people actually get along and everyone's kind of rooting for each other.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always one in
of
numbers,
course.
right? The more you get, there's always
Absolutely.
one or two, but
Yeah.
like, it's a really nice community for that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So we have just about a minute left before we start to head to break and crack this. But so were you in Vancouver? Just to like do a little side thing. You were in Vancouver. Oh,
Yeah.
Did you know I lived in Whistler for 10 years?
I did
Oh,
not know
no.
that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
From 99 to 2009.
Very cool.
Yeah, it
We
was a
we
wild,
did spend
a
a
wild 10 years.
one-day trip to
Yeah, I
Whistler.
don't think we
Okay.
stayed.
we
Yeah, I
didn't
think
stay.
it was 1 day.
One day.
Yeah,
We did a day, and actually we did 2 days in Squamish. One of the
Nice.
times we needed to be rescued off the side of the mountain with our kids, and that's not even made up.
That's a long
That's
story.
a
No,
true story.
it wouldn't
Long
be. There's
story,
lots of you.
but-
We-
Yeah.
That's for the next,
So anyone-
for the next
About you
episode.
visitors.
Yeah, right? So if anyone from there is like, oh yeah, like especially Squamish. People die on that mountain all the time. We're like, what?
Oh my goodness.
But
All right.
anyway.
We are going to head to break. Okay. And when we come back, we're going to crack into this beer, chat a little bit more about beer, and hopefully you won't have to be rescued from my fake basement. All right. All right.
Awesome.
We'll head to break.
At St. John Ambulance, we're all about community. We teach life-saving skills and provide community support through our volunteer services. All St. John Ambulance product sales and training registrations support these important services. Volunteer, donate, or enroll in a program today so we can continue to have an impact on our community. Visit sja.ca to learn more. At St. John Ambulance, we do more than save lives, we change lives.
I want you to play. I haven't played pro hockey in about 15 years.
We could take the championship. And you're gambling everybody's hopes and dreams on this wild kid.
For 27 years, I dreamt of you.
We need to finish it.
I've seen all of us die. It consumes us from the inside. So we don't have a choice anymore.
And he can lift anything. Anything at all. He's that strong.
Joe Schuster, will you stop it or you'll miss your train? Now help me find number 5.
Strong, but by day he's a mild-mannered reporter. Glasses, a secret identity.
Honestly, you Canadian kids.
He'd be in this cape.
A what?
A cape. Wearing these blue tights.
A hero in tights, really. Here it is.
Listen, Lois, this guy is faster than anything, I swear.
If you're not fast, you're gonna miss your train.
That's it. A bullet. A bullet. He's faster? No, he's faster than a speeding bullet.
Come on, get on it. No one's gonna read a comic strip about a strong man in tights, Joe. It'll never fly.
Why? No. But he can leap over tall buildings. Oh, wow, yeah.
See what your cousin Frank says in Toronto.
Wait, Lois. I've got something for you. Take it. It's a gift. You never know. It might be worth something someday. Is he great or what? Bye-bye, Lois.
right, welcome back to another episode of Ongoing History of Beer. My guests are still here. Yay! It's always a good start when they last intermission. That's why I don't pour the beer till intermission, because then I know that you'll have to stay. Yes. So again, we have Fran and Rick joining us from Caps Off Brewing in St. Thomas. Brewing Company, Brewery, Brewing Company.
Sure.
Yep.
I never remember the end parts. And we've got beer. So please.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you for joining. And please describe to me what's in the glass. I do have a bit of a cold, but this aroma, because I can tell what style it is, actually punches through the little bit of a cold that I have. But please explain what we've got in our glass today.
Do you want me to do it or you want to do it?
You go for it.
What was your idea, though?
It's true.
Yeah, it was your idea.
Okay, so this is our fall seasonal. So every quarter, we try to have a different seasonal. And so Rick had brewed a chocolate apple wheat back when he was home brewing. He's like, oh, I think that'll be a really good seasonal. I'm like,
A chocolate apple wheat?
Chocolate apple.
This is so bizarre.
Yeah. So
I used a lot of baker's chocolate, really dark malts.
Yeah.
Made it a dark one, and then just, I think, in a 5-gallon batch, I think I threw like 30 apples in there, and just to see what would... It was good, though.
But back to this beer.
Yeah, sorry.
So I give Rick a lot of the ideas, and then he looks at me like, what? And I'm like, okay, see ya. So I said, you need to brew a apple pie wheat beer.
A beer that tastes like apple pie.
He's like, how am I going to do that? I don't know. I'll make the spice part of it. You do the rest.
Right.
And so that's what we have here.
So this is
our Big Apple Newsy.
Yep. Big Apple Newsy.
It is. So those are the spices that I can, that's punching through. Pardon me for a little bit less of tasting, but I don't taste anything awful in here, so that's
there
a
you
start. You're allowed back.
Generally, apple pie flavor, similar to pumpkin pie, is all the spices.
Exactly.
So it's the spices that bring out that flavor, that aroma, and so it was fun to play with this one. And I when she said apple pie, I'm like, I wonder how I get a crust.
Yeah,
right, in a pie.
yeah.
So I actually ended up going to buy boxes of graham crackers, and I threw graham crackers in the boil.
Interesting.
And just to see what it was a sloppy brew kettle at the end of that brew.
Oh my goodness.
But it was.
There's a lot of
imagine
there.
how
There's a
out.
lot of stuff in there.
Oh yeah. So speaking of your seasonals, I do let me know, because I know you have a winter one coming up. That's important to share because it's for a wonderful cause.
Yes.
And then after that, remind me with my short memory that I want to talk about the brew system you have too, because you have moved up, but you were doing some really cool things in your small space. Yep. But please share with us the winter seasonal and the wonderful.
Winter seasonal is called Pass the Hat. Because portions of the sales are going to Courage for Freedom. And I'm going to read off of here. So we know Kelly Franklin, who is the founder of Courage for Freedom. And this is what they describe it as on their website, because I don't want to mess it up. So at Courage for Freedom, we educate, train, and certify frontline staff and community service providers with proven strategies and prevention tactics to serve vulnerable victims of human trafficking and sexual exploitation, to bring awareness basically to government agencies, personnel. So she works with, the OPP. They had Project, what was the first one? The next one's Project Maple Leaf.
En route, Project
En route. So they got all the en routes have the big screens, and so they're able to kind of advertise per se on there and just bring awareness.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very important cause, and it's near and dear to our heart.
Yeah.
So,
fantastic.
So that's kind of who we support, and we're going to be supporting them through the Wassail Ale called Pass the Hat.
Excellent, excellent. So people purchase the beer from you guys, or a pint, or a growler.
Yes,
right, then they can go.
In-house only.
Yeah, all our seasonal are in-house only. Yeah.
Excellent. And your beer, we have to go to the brewery, right? We have to visit you.
You have
come
to
out
come,
and put up with you.
To the metropolis of St. Thomas. Yes.
It was good. I enjoyed my visit there in the summer. I think
and the
there's
elevated
lots to
park
see.
is now open. So
yes, because it was closed when I was there. I kind of thought I could sneak through, but I didn't. Yeah. So everything's sold in from your tap room.
Yep.
You are growlers and howlers or bombers or whatever we call these half guys. And then, of course, patio or pints on the patio or inside.
Yep.
And your system. So when I first went there, you were also brewing on. My numbers are really bad, but you had like one of those small,
teeny tiny.
Yeah, teeny tiny like plastic fermenters.
I had the little plastics as additionals, and then because what would happen, I had a 20-gallon brew setup
Right.
with 1 barrel fermenters. So I was able to do 2 batches and put it into a fermenter, but it left me no space for fermentation. So I would get boilovers all the time, or those messy things.
Yes.
So I ended up basically taking like 20 liters off, throwing it in a little plastic, and add it again later after the primary is done. But no, we've upgraded to it'd be a 3.5 barrel system now.
Okay.
So it's classified a 400 liter system.
Right.
So now we brew 1 batch and fill 1 fermenter. So,
pretty nice.
Yeah,
And you're
nice.
also in that space. It all fit there.
It's
right?
it's very crammed in there.
Yeah,
but the system was designed to maximize the space.
Yeah.
We had a friend who we called. He's can I say where he's from?
Yeah. Sure.
From River Road Brewing in
Yeah.
Bayfield. And so before we opened, we didn't really know him, and we had, through kind of friends, been given his number. So we called him up, and he's like, "You're going to want to go bigger." We're like, "Whoa, it's already purchased, and we're not sure, so this is what we're doing." And maybe a month later, we're like, "Hey, Dave, so you were right. We're going to go up to a 2-barrel system." He's like, "No, you're not. Send me your floor plan. We'll maximize the space." So, yeah.
Fantastic.
There's not room for many people back there at one time, but
But
who cares? Because the beer's there, so that's.
It's interesting. We just have about 2 minutes left, but again, from learning, I think that's the one thing everyone says is we should have gone bigger at the start. But how do you? I don't know. I mean, obviously you believe in yourself too, right? But it's also not cheap. Like, it's,
and again,
you got to kind of watch
back
where you're putting what money, right? Where does it go in the start? And
exactly.
What are we
coming back to the free beer to our friends around the kitchen table? Is someone going to actually like purchase this now that they can, right?
Right.
Yeah.
My rough estimates, and I said to Fran in the beginning, if we can sell 150 liters a week, we'll be able to pay the bills and function. Everything will work perfectly. Our first weekend, the April 18th, soft launch. We didn't announce anything. We didn't nothing. We just opened up the doors. And I think that weekend we went through over 800 liters.
Crazy.
And I'm like I'm almost out of beer now, and it's one weekend in.
Yeah, and that shows community too, right?
Absolutely.
People are eager to support local, and I say support local, but I mean I also support local wherever it is that I'm visiting, right?
For sure.
So it's nice to see people kind of standing up for that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it. It goes really fast. I think when we get into conversation, so we'll have to have you back. Right. Thanks again for joining Caps Off Brewing from St. Thomas, Ontario, at Caps Off on Instagram, Facebook, website,
capsoffbrewing.com.
Excellent. And you guys are open all year round, waiting to serve beer?
Thursday through Saturday.
And you're generally there?
Unfortunately, the patio's closed now.
All right. Well, that's all right. We'll make our way. Well, thanks again for joining you guys. Thanks for watching another episode. And I'm going to throw it to Dre. We'll see you again.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Amazing.
I'm Peter Morange, host of What's Up Stratford on Rogers TV, and wanting to wish you and your family a very joyous and happy and blessed Christmas season and a very prosperous new year, and all the best for 2020.
Hi, I'm Anandi Carroll Willoughby, host of Your Region This Week on Rogers TV, wishing you all a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a wonderful New Year.